What's going on, guys? My name is WOLFWILL and welcome back to another video on the channel. Whether it is your first time here or you are a returning viewer, I hope you guys are having a great day or a great night so far. Now, the last time we did a commentary video such as this one now, we spoke about my quick thoughts on Activision being sold to Microsoft, which meant that now Spyro, Crash, and other popular titles such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, and more are now under Microsoft's belt, basically, is the term I'd give it. Of course, straight away, I was just really confused by the whole situation, because it just made me think now Xbox owns Spyro and Crash, which means there is that risk of they're gonna make the two of them exclusive to just Xbox. But I've had to think about this over time, and also you guys did help with some ideas I'm going to talk about now, or points to make based on the comments that you had on the previous video, where obviously I gave my quick first thoughts about this. So I'm kind of going to go a little bit more in depth with this and talk about what potentially could happen further down the road now that Activision is bought by Microsoft. So this video is not really scripted. This is literally sort of going off the top of my head, but also based on comments that I saw. So one of the comments I've got here was from one of my friends who mentioned that Xbox are going to be smart about this. They know they'll make more money if it's all on console, like every console, so PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and so forth. Especially with the giant names such as Spyro, Crash, Call of Duty, and more. Because otherwise, if they make it just exclusive to the one console, that is going to kill off the franchise. Now, to elaborate on that, basically, the way to put this is the best strategic approach to this is to continue to release the games on all platforms, because that's going to allow the whole gaming community to experience this together, rather than having to have some form of a conflict if, for example, Spyro and Crash were to be released on just Xbox, because there are obviously tons of PlayStation fans, tons of Nintendo, and same with Xbox. Sure, like, there are exclusives on PlayStation like Spider-Man, God of War, Horizon, and then Xbox has Forza, Halo, and so forth. But when it comes to Spyro and Crash, they should not be exclusive. They need to keep being released on all consoles, because that's going to be fair for everyone. And when you think about it as well, when Crash Insane Trilogy came out, that started off just being on PlayStation 4. But then we jump 1 year later, and the game releases for Xbox and Nintendo Switch. Then when we get to Spyro Reignited Trilogy, that released on PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. Well, no, Nintendo was later, but it released on Xbox and PlayStation at the same time. And then, of course, Crash 4, It's About Time, also released on pretty much all consoles simultaneously. So I think if Microsoft keep going down that route of releasing on all platforms, for one, it's going to be a good strategic move, and two, it's going to be fair for the gaming community as a whole. Now, of course, the next thing is specifically Spyro 4. So we've spoken about this many times in the past. Obviously, as we know, we've got Crash 4, which is a completely, like, a brand new game built from scratch, which was set after Crash 3 Warped. And then, of course, we had Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart as well. Now, that's different because that one is just exclusive to PlayStation. But we're talking about Spyro and Crash here. So when it comes to Spyro 4, if that was already in development, that would have to be coming out on all platforms. But then also, we haven't had a new Spyro game in general for a very long time. If you exclude Skylanders, the last Spyro game we had that was completely new was The Legend of Spyro Dawn of the Dragon, which was all the way back in 2008. So yeah, it just makes sense that we deserve to have Spyro 4 on all platforms, and I'm really hoping that they continue to go that route of releasing on all platforms, because that would be a really good way for Microsoft and Activision and so forth to keep those franchises going and to really, really expand on it and make the most of it. Now, this next comment I found, I thought was really, really interesting, and then I had one of my other friends speak to me about this, because then I sort of did a little bit of research, and I was happy with what I found. So basically, this comment was talking about how, of course, the rights to Spyro were sold to Activision around 2008 possibly, which would kind of make sense because before Skylanders was going to be a thing, they were actually going to do a Legend of Spyro movie. That was going to happen. But then 2011, they ended up doing Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, which is a completely different thing that I want to consider not canon whatsoever, unless if the multiverse concept obviously goes on, then yeah, I guess you would consider it canon then in its own multiverse. But anyways, that's going off topic. Being in the hands of Microsoft is going to be better for the staff as a whole. And then also, there were mentions of the Game Pass. So when you think about it, the Game Pass for Xbox might get some of the classic and some of those future nostalgic titles. For example, the Legend of Spyro trilogy available for Xbox players. And I would assume on the PC Game Pass as well, which I think would be really cool to see if that was to happen. But of course, PlayStation never really got anything like that, and I honestly wish it did, but they're in the hands of Microsoft now, as in, of course, Spyro and Crash, so Sony really don't have any control over that, or any power to even have those on the store. I'm assuming that's the case, but Microsoft have got that power, so they can do it if they wish. So overall, the point that I'm trying to explain here is, now that I've thought about this more, as long as the games continue to release on all platforms, I think this is a really good move strategically for the company and for the community. Because of course, the working environment sounds like it's going to be a lot better now it's in the hands of Microsoft. Fans might be able to enjoy some nostalgic titles from the past now that that could be on the Game Pass. And as long as these beloved characters continue to be released on all platforms, because as we know, Spyro and Crash are actually originally PlayStation mascots. So it would be really good and beneficial to still honor that legacy. That's the way I'd like to put this. And I'm sure Microsoft, based on some tweets I saw, I think Nick Spencer mentioned something on the lines of they want to keep that promise. It was him or someone else mentioned this. I'm not too sure because I don't follow any people from Xbox, so I just kind of see things pop up from time to time. But if they can keep that promise, I think this could really go down a good road. And as mentioned, as long as PlayStation and Nintendo can still experience this just like Xbox, there won't be any conflicts, and it seems like there's going to be a brighter future ahead. So, in general, overall, what are you guys' opinions on the whole situation still? Now that we've had a bit of time to think about it, are you okay with what's going on, or would you prefer that Microsoft didn't acquire Activision? Me personally, I'm still getting my head around things, obviously, but of course, the more I look into it, the more it seems like it's a good path to take. And of course, as I've mentioned multiple times, as long as they do certain things still, it'll work out quite well for the future. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching once again. Hopefully this helped sort of clear your head on a couple of things. I don't know if I'll do any more videos specifically on the Xbox situation. Unless if there is anything else that comes up in future, then I will definitely give my thoughts on it. I'll still be looking to talk more on Spyro 4 with some theories and so forth, and see where we go from there. And then of course, regards to commentary videos, I definitely want to look at doing some Marvel Spider-Man 2 related commentary videos, which will be in future for sure. And yeah, so thank you guys again, and until next time, I hope you guys have a great day or a great night.